Hi everyone, welcome back to another stream. Hope you're all doing okay and had a good weekend. So I'm just going to... yes, it does have the opening movie, yeah. As bad as it is. Hi, Victor. So I may have to restart PSU because for some reason my controllers just stopped working with it. So just give me 2 seconds, guys, just while I restart it. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think it must be if my controller says idle for a certain amount of time, it just turns off, and then PSU doesn't recognize it when I reconnect it. Same with PSO as well. Yeah, so I think plan today is start out with some PSU. Been quite enjoying PSU a bit recently, actually. And then switch over to some PSO later on. Just to get things out the way for the channel. So the video went live earlier today, which was the next lore video for PSO. Tomorrow, probably late tomorrow night, the next PSP2 video will go live to members. That'll then go live to everyone else a little bit later in the week, probably Wednesday or Thursday. I think it'll probably be Wednesday for that one. And then on either Wednesday or Thursday, there'll be the PS0 video. I've managed to get it all working. I've done a little bit of recording for it, so that should be next week as well. Also, next week's stream will be the special one, which will be the much delayed 1,000 sub stream. So for that, we're basically going to play through PSO, but we're going to do it with like a challenge wheel. So the way it'll work is before every quest, you'll be able to spin a wheel, which will basically have different challenges that I'll have to do for that quest on it. There'll also be bonuses, so if anyone does a membership or any donations or anything like that, they will also get to spin the wheel again and add another challenge to it. I mentioned this in a community post, but I am also thinking of potentially doing like a charity donation at the end of the stream as well to cancer research. Reason for that, I'll just quickly go into it. Basically, the reason I chose cancer research is because, for those who aren't aware, I actually lost my brother to cancer quite a few years ago, and it's always been a cause that's been quite close to my heart because of that. So because of that, I do want to try and raise a little bit of money for cancer research if I can. So any sort of memberships or donations or anything during that stream will also go to cancer research as well. So just want to get that out of the way now. So that will be next Sunday, so I think that's the 21st. Here's your party lead. I'm getting some text. No worries. No, thanks, guys. Yeah, I realise we're only quite a small channel and probably won't make a whole lot of money, but even if there was no donations, I would still donate a bit at the end of the stream anyway. It's just a little added thing I want to do. So for anyone who didn't see it as well, there was a video that went live earlier in the week, which was a NGS video with me and Deployable. So yeah, we just talked quite a bit about our sort of impressions of NGS as well. So hope you guys enjoyed that one as well. Yeah, that's where I thought, Park. I mean, it's always been something that's been really close to me, obviously, having the experience of it. So just anything I can do for get a bit of money towards a good cause, I'm all for it. So we'll get started in a sec. As usual, if you play on Clementine PSU, feel free to join us. There's always usually spots open. We've got up to 6 in a party on PSU, so by all means, drop in. I'm aware that some people might be wanting to forego the stream today for a certain football match that's going on, but I have absolutely zero interest in it, so I'm more than happy just playing Phantasy Star instead. Yeah, so we'll give it a couple of minutes before we get started properly, just to let people file in. So we will switch over to PSO about halfway through the stream as well. The RBR for this week's not brilliant, but we might be able to use it to hunt a few things. We also need to try and get a red ring for me, not as in me, M-E, me, M-Y-H. Because I saw on the Discord that he'd been PD'd by fault, and I can't imagine how harsh that is. So we need to get you a red ring. Yeah, it's drop all rates, which I know doesn't help on faults at all, but we can still do it. Me, no you. Exactly. You know what you mean. So what is the best quest to run at the minute, Drac, do you think? Is it just the usual Wicked Invasion? Pretty much, okay. Let's make it easier for you to spell your name. Yeah, so I'll get started anyway. As usual, if anyone does want to join in, feel free to drop in for any runs that we do while we're playing PSU or PSO. There are some others need to look again. Yeah, I was looking at the quests a bit earlier on. I know there is a few in the special events counter, apart from Wicked Invasion. I mean, I'm cool to trying one of the other ones out if you want to. See what there actually is. Yeah, so I'll be honest, I am not familiar with any of these quests. I think Mag might... Is that the PSO maps, maybe? Your character's not very strong yet. No worries. I mean, I'm at 120 and I've been playing really, really casually on this, so on Clementine you can level super fast. So yeah, we've got a few options. Yeah, I have no idea what any of these are though, to be honest. I mean, we could start out just doing a Wicked Invasion, then we can switch it over to something else. Don't remember Mag, but you don't think it's that great. I know it does seem like pretty much everyone does Wicked, so... We can technically do S3. It's 175s though, which is like 50 levels higher than me. Like, I will probably get curb stomped. So we could either suffer and do S3, or we can do S2. S2 is 145s. I know you're in the 190, so you could probably handle any of them, but... S2 to start, fair enough. Oh, you were level 1 type, oh, fair enough. Yeah, maybe not S3 then. Should be now use nicknames interchangeably. So I'm going to say that's missed. I still find it super weird that there's no music here. One day in PSU you got level 80 in 3 hours. Yeah, that sounds about right for Clementine. It also throws me off so much when I play this because Obviously, I'm playing through PSP2 as well at the minute. And the issue with that is that some of the controls are reversed to PSU. So I keep hitting the wrong buttons in both games. See, I can actually kill things now. I still really need to get rid of this RCSM though. What is the Flying Dreamcatcher? Yeah, so this is, if you played PSP2, this is Clad 6 from PSP2. I really don't like it. It looks terrible, but it is the best one I've got at the minute. It does look like a flying Dreamcatcher. Did the last side story yesterday at night. It was very fun. Oh, cool. Yeah, honestly, on Clementine, because of things like Clem Camp and the rotating boosts as well. You know, if you do Clem Camp and then, you know, focus on the experience weeks, you can level super quickly. I also find it really odd that this weapon is a claw. But bear in mind, it's like one half of the Panam blades from PSO, so you would think it would be a dagger. Maybe there is a dagger version. I also finally use the Dreamcast as well. Yeah, I just thought we'd start with some PSU this time, just for a bit of a change, but also I've actually been getting a bit of an itch to play PSU the last couple of days. I think it was because obviously it was Experience Week on PSO, and I got my Hukasil to Ultimate, so then I was like less wanting to play because I just thought I'll wait until the next rotation. You think there are creams for that? It does feel pretty good playing PSU again, honestly. It is a little bit hard to adjust though, going backwards and forwards between PSU and PSP2 Infinity. There are things I keep doing in both games that you can't do. So, for example, when I play Infinity, I keep forgetting to use my charge shots with my guns, which you'll notice in the next video that comes out. There's like half the mission where I don't use any charge shots because I totally forget I can do them. It's the slight problem with going backwards and forwards between two kind of similar games constantly. I really don't know how that enemy just like managed to evade us for so long. Is that a Heaven Striker? I think he was using a Heaven Striker. It looked like it. It also looked like it was doing Divine Punishment, so I would assume so. Yeah, you do find on Clementine that there is a lot of things added to the game, so there is quite a lot of things that weren't in PSU originally. Which I do like, because they have given you a lot more things to do in the game, which is cool. Are rare items obtained in the same way as PSO? Kind of, so some rare items will just drop as drops, like PSO. There's no section IDs or anything in PSU, so the way it works is just an enemy will have a specific drop for everyone. The only way it differs sometimes is that some items will drop as what are called synthesis boards, which are like recipe boards, and then you need to use ingredients to make the weapon. And you use your equivalent of your mag to do that. Honestly though, on Clementine, it does seem like a lot of the items just drop as weapons. From what I've seen so far anyway. I'm only level 124, so I haven't tried any of the really like high-end stuff yet. I'm starting to notice on this character now as well that I'm getting a ton of health. Yeah, honestly, if you've never tried PSU before, it is worth checking out. It was one of those games where it just, at the time, it just didn't land with people at all. A lot of people just couldn't get into it. But I think over the years, I think it's now a game that's a bit more fondly remembered. And much like Ephinea for PSO, there is quite a lot of quality of life improvements on Clementine. I've said it time and time again on stream, but I feel that there is a lot of changes from the official servers. So if you're wanting an experience that's very similar to the official PSU servers, this probably isn't it. But it's also one of the only options you've got. You're in the clutches of WoW at the time. PSU just went by. Yeah, I can understand that. One of, or basically the only one. Yeah, I think it is the only one, isn't it, at the minute? Which is kind of crazy, really. You would think there would be at least more than one private server. WoW got us all 15 years of your life. That's one game, for some reason, I just could never get into. I think I tried it shortly after it launched, and my brother played a lot of it. He got really, really into WoW. But for some reason, I could just never get into it. This game got its news so bad at the time, pretty much that I think, honestly, the way it happened was PSU released. Now, Sega made the really odd decision at the time. It's almost like they weren't sure of PSU themselves. What they did, in the West at least, and I think it was the same for Japan as well, they released this while Blueburst was still active. So for a time, you could play PSO and PSU online on the Sega servers at the same time. And a lot of people played PSU. And honestly, there was quite a lot of people who just thought, this isn't PSO, I don't like it. Because it was a bit different. Now, for what it's worth, I do massively prefer PSO. I think that's obvious for the amount I play it and the amount of videos I do on it. But I do still respect PSU and I do still enjoy it. But yeah, just at the time, a lot of people just wanted nothing to do with it, honestly. This is why community servers should be open source. I mean, I suppose for Ephinea, they run it on, I think it's called the Tetheala server, and you can download that framework and I guess make your own LAN server if you want to. But I don't think anything like that exists for PSU. I think for PSU, your options are basically play Clementine. Went from PSO episode 1 and 2 to WoW. I imagine a lot of people probably did, honestly. I can imagine for someone who's kind of new, I'm just looking to experience the good of both games. Honestly, it is a really good time now because now you don't have to worry about, you know, what the new hot game is. You can just go and play whatever you want to. You know, Ephinea is going to be there probably for quite a while, I would imagine. And I imagine Clementine will stick around as well, just because it is the only option. So yeah, if you want to play PSO or PSU, you've got easy option for both. I always find it really interesting when you get people who've never played PSO or PSU who maybe join Phantasy Star a lot later and then they go back and experience the old games. I think that's really cool that people actually go back and check them out. That takes so much damage while I'm like this. Honestly, that's one thing I really love about PSU. I love the racial abilities they added, like the nano blasts and the SUV weapons. It just makes a really cool difference to the game. To be fair, I can kind of understand not open sourcing it. If you're developing the server software and 10 servers spawn from it, you can imagine the support requests. Oh, almost sacrificed a tent. Yeah, I love Acro Fighter. I think it's because I prefer the single-handed weapons generally in this, so having a class that specializes in them is really, really cool. I do like Acro Attacker as well, though. Yeah, I'm not particularly interested in those, to be honest. Are you leveling Acro Attacker now? Oh, yeah, of course, yeah, you need it to unlock Acro Master, don't you? Yeah, I think PSU was, I'm not going to say it was revolutionary because it wasn't. It was more like it was an evolution rather than a revolution. I think it did add a lot of really cool things to the franchise. Things like honestly, I really like the lobby system in PSU. I like how you go from one lobby to another. I know it could be annoying at times because you'd have like 5 lobbies to get through to get to where you wanted to go, but honestly, I liked how you could progress through the different lobbies and there was like a route through and it felt like you were making your way to them. And like I say, the racial abilities as well, I just think was a really cool addition as well. I just feel it did build on PSO to an extent, but there was also a lot of differences that people didn't like. Oh, thanks for the Discord link, best player. Yeah, so we do have a Discord, so if you want to join there, we do play PSO, PSU. We do play non-Phantasy Star games as well, so we have a little community for Monster Hunter as well, so want to drop by, feel free to join us over there. Let's try Infernal Gardens. Let me check which lobby. Flybase in Otoku City. Okay. Sounds good. It's one thing I do like about Phantasy Star, though, it does feel like every game brings something different. Unfortunately, that does put a lot of people off, though, as well, because there are some people who would just love PSO over and over again. And I get that, because PSO is amazing, but it is nice to have some evolution in the series as well. I kind of see it from both sides, honestly. Infinity Geoman skills are so cool. Yeah, I really love that in Infinity as well. you really want to play Infinity, try them. You should go and check it out. You know, it's easy enough to play with the, you know, the translation patch and everything. It's a really, really cool game, honestly. I've said this before, but I genuinely feel that Infinity is one of the best Phantasy Star games. Is PSO 2 more close to this than PSO? Think of PSU as kind of a halfway house. So there are some elements with PSU that were then brought into PSO. So PSU, for example, was the first game to feature photon arts. To my knowledge, I don't think there was anything before that. So because of that, it introduced photon arts, and then, as you know, in PSO 2, that uses photon arts as well, and they've continued to use that up to NGS. So I feel that some of the ideas they brought in with PSU were carried over. So I would say that this, to me, does feel a bit more similar to PSO 2 than PSO. But there is still things that tie it to PSO a little bit as well. Yeah, the Infinity Blasts and everything are really, really cool with the Geomans. So it was Infernal Gardens, wasn't it? So we can do S2, which is 140s. That should be fine. Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out though if you've never played either PSU or PSO2. I think both games are worth checking out, and definitely, you know, they definitely have their own merits. I know previously on the channel I've said that I'm not personally a huge fan of PSO2 in terms of base PSO2. But a lot of that is just because I played it for 8 years on the Japanese version and I just got kind of tired of it. The actual game itself is totally decent. There are things I don't like about it, but it is a perfectly decent game in its own right. Yeah, I just realized that the timer's stuck at 60 hours left. That dude just did half of my health in one hit. I suppose it was a tech and I am a beast, and beasts just take so much damage from techs. Nothing is perfect. Yeah, exactly. You know, even for NGS, I mean, you know, it's common knowledge, I think, that a lot of people really do not like NGS. I feel that there are some really good things in that game, but there are things that need to be improved on. And I think it's the same with all the Phantasy Stars. You know, even PSO, as much as I love it, is not a perfect game. It's just almost perfect. This dude is super annoying. He's like acting like a bloody tennis racket, knocking me all over the place. I do really appreciate that Clementine is around. It's nice that PSU has a way to exist, because if you're not aware, if you play PSU offline, it's a very, very different experience. It's not like PSO where you can get a decent chunk of the gameplay offline. The PSU offline is completely different. I mean, for a start in offline, you don't even play as your own character, you play as Ethan. I think the only reason you don't touch NGS is because you don't have the hardware to run it. It is like weirdly intensive. I know I've got a really high-end PC, but even for me, it does make my PC run quite hot. Although I think part of that is the processor that I've got. I've got a Ryzen processor, and I think they just tend to run hot anyway. Yeah, I find NGS fun. I've mentioned this, I think, before, but for me, NGS is the kind of game where you can just log on to it, spend half an hour on there, mess around a bit, do your daily quests, hang around with your friends a bit, and then log off. It doesn't really require much time investment at all. Whereas you'll know if you played PSO that it kind of takes your life. It really likes these turrets in this quest. You really want a Guardiana and PSO with hit. I think I've got a Guardiana. I might have one with about 20 hit, I think, but that's not much of a difference. Good thing about NGS is that it made me go back to PSO and find your channel. Thank you, NGS. Let's play NGS on the Xbox One. Looked awful. PS4 isn't much better. It only runs decently on the PS5, even though it's a PS4 game, so it's clearly unoptimized. Yeah, unoptimized and Sega kind of go hand in hand, I kind of find. It's a really good single target for 4-mar. I need to remember not to stagger these guys because I forgot to do the meat spin if you stagger them. Yeah, I mentioned it before, but even going back to PSO, PSO was not optimized on with Blue Burst either. I will say though, if you've played NGS a bit, maybe if you haven't played it recently, if you love PSO, there is actually a PSO themed quest in it at the minute. So there is a limited quest in the game where you fight Galgriffin. And to be fair to the NGS team, they have actually done a reasonable job with it. You know, the quest before you fight Galgriffin, it plays the central control area music. When you fight Gal, it uses the proper Galgriffin theme. He does most of the attacks from PSO. The only weird thing is that I don't know if anyone's seen it, but the Galgriffin you fight in NGS for some reason is a lot smaller. He's not tiny by any means, but he's a lot smaller than he was in PSO. I have no idea why they've done that. But it is a fun quest, you know. It's good to see them actually bringing some more PSO stuff into the game as well. It was a bit depressing though, I will say. I did a few runs of it and I did see some people on NGS not knowing where the boss came from, and I was thinking, oh no, PSO is old. I'm just going to knock the volume down slightly for PSU because this guy is ridiculously loud. I'll knock it back up after the fight, but I have no idea why this guy is so loud when he spawns. I've turned the volume down in game as well. I like how he paralyzed me by just moving away from me a bit. You would teleport as soon as a nanoblast. Right on the other side of the map as well, so half my nanoblast will run out by the time I get there. Hi, Yako. No, you're not really late. This is literally our first run. So we've just started streaming about half an hour ago. Again, I have no idea why the explosion's so loud. Now I can knock the volume back up on PSU. Yeah, hopefully that sounds okay. Just let me know if it's too quiet or too loud. It's just a weird thing with that particular boss for some reason. I have no idea why it's just so much louder than everything in the game. Acrofighter 10, very good. Pretty garbage drops though. We dying to play this one back when it came out. Things got too crazy with college and you had to drop off. Yeah, I think a lot of people, even people who play PSO, a lot of people didn't get a chance to really try PSU at the time. Yeah, one really cool thing with this, I know a lot of people who play PSU probably know about this already, but I love how there's like hidden dressing rooms in some of the lobbies as well. So in this lobby, I believe it's over here somewhere. Yeah, if you go to like basically into this bush, more or less, there's like a hidden dressing room here. Gotta find exactly where it is. There it is. Yeah, so if you stand about here, for some reason, you can change clothes. There's a few other lobbies like that as well, like that have caves that you can change your clothes in. Type levels make such a difference. My damage is so nerfed. Gotta make sure the fit is fresh for fighting monsters. Yeah, so you might be able to see it's quite difficult, but basically there's like a little cursor. And if you see that pop up, that's where the dressing room is. Yeah, if I go here and then there's loads of dressing room. I don't have anything with me at the minute, so I can't change. But yeah, there's a few lobbies like that. You get locked up in hidden dressing rooms behind bushes. Yeah, apparently it's legal in Goral. It's one thing I've always loved about PSU though, like some of the lobbies are obviously designed for you to just spend time in and chill. You know, I remember on the official servers the amount of times I came to this lobby and just chilled out with friends. It's really, really nostalgic coming back here. I think that's the point of it, yeah. It's so you can, you know, put on the swimwear, I suppose, for this one, so you can put swimwear on and then go in the hot springs. It's the same for, I believe, Paracabana Coast as well. I think there's a cave somewhere there you can change as well. And again, I suppose it's so you can put the swimwear on for the beach. So it's kind of cool that they've thought of things like that. They put a lot of work into the hub world. I totally agree. It's one of the things I've always loved about PSU. It feels like a very social game, which it's kind of sad playing it now because obviously on Clementine the population is a lot smaller and primarily everyone just stays in Guardian's Colony. So it's kind of sad coming to all these lobbies now and just seeing them all empty. Like this used to be like a bustling lobby with people all over the place. People just don't mind changing next to each other in the PSU universe. Everyone has body confidence. Everyone running the same quest over and over. I mean, to be fair, that was the same on official as well. Everyone ran White Beast. Can you come to Pavilion of Air? I will try and remember how to get there. Is there a fast way to get there, Drak? Can't remember now. Taxi from the Lady in Blue. Yeah, I think it must be in main city only. That's really weird, actually. Too bad something can't be done like in the Dot Hack series where NPCs could be used to make the world feel more fleshed out. Yeah, I mean, there are some NPCs in the game, I mean, for example, but it feels like there's not many at all. What you'll notice quite often is you can kind of see, if you look in the background, there's kind of like silhouettes that walk around that are like not detailed. They kind of look a bit like ghosts, honestly. And I guess that was Sega's attempt to try and make the world feel a bit more full of people. Unfortunately, now it does just feel a bit quiet. You think you need a little push to get to 100? Can I join? Yeah, so I'm just going to head to Pavilion of Air. So, yeah, I think the NPC's over here. Oh, do I really not have it? Oh, I can go there, that's fine. Yes, this lobby, if you played PSU back in the day, you'll know this was infamous for just being absolutely crammed with people, because the quest here, White Beast, everyone would just run it constantly. Your first mission will be to create an entire army of NPCs to make places feel more alive, give them places to be in schedules. Yeah, it does kind of hit home when you come into areas like this now and you see how quiet they are now. I want to say this one was White Beast. I'll double check. Yeah, it's this one. So we could do S2. Were you jumping on, Victor? I'm just seeing what you could do. So if you're just under 100, you could do... So we could do S if Victor joined. But I'll just see if Victor wants to join. If he does, we can do S instead. I know the experience won't be as good, but you don't know where we are. So the easiest way, I'm trying the easiest way to get to here. You might be able to use, there's like an NPC next to the flyer base that you might be able to use, but I don't know if you need to be in the party to do that. I mean, I could always come back to the city. Yeah, so we'll go back to city, and we can add you to the party there, and then you should be able to get a flight to the lobby. So if you go to Otoku City on New Days, and just let me know what your character's called as well. Well, to be honest, with it being Clementine, you're probably the only other person here anyway. Ah, hello. Well, I sent an invite, but I know that Clementine is also terrible for invites working. Let's try sending another one. Ah, there we go. I don't know what it is with invites on Clementine, just sometimes they just don't work. So yeah, so we can go to Pavilion of Air now. So if you come to this NPC over here. So I think if one of us goes to Pavilion of Air, then you should be able to... I think if you select Special Flight, once one of us is there, you can come to that lobby as well. So you just want to go to Pavilion of Air Top, and that should bring you here. I guess this is the downside of the way the lobby system works in PSU, is that sometimes trying to get people to where you want to go can be a bit awkward. Like trying to explain how to do it. Where in PSO, I suppose it was a lot more, a lot simpler. Yeah, so we can do S, that should be fine. Yeah, this was the quest that everyone ran back in the day. Like, literally everyone just spammed this quest. Honestly, you can almost think of this as like the TTF of PSU. Not that it's a boss rush or anything, it's just everyone did it all the time. I actually forgot about these guys in PSU. I forgot how creepy these enemies are. There was a long time where PSU was just White Beast 24/7. Yeah, pretty much. And for what it's worth, I do like the quest and I like the boss at the end of it. But to get a bit all running it constantly. You feel like the frogs were an attempt at an alternative mascot? Possibly. I mean, they're definitely unique. The thing is, I don't even know why you would try and have a new mascot when Rappies were already super popular. Although I will say, I feel like Rappies got popular more with PSO2. And now they're an absolutely integral part of the franchise. They are massively popular. But I feel that it wasn't so much before PSO2, personally. A slight problem with this range mag thing that we've got is it kind of completely blocks my vision sometimes. Like I just can't see directly in front of me. Which is a slight problem. Especially not PSU Rappies. Yeah, PSU Rappies are horrifying. I really don't like them in PSU. It's just, they're not cute. Well, not especially cute anywhere. Then you've got those huge ones in PSU as well. I know we've got the huge ones in PSO2 and NGS as well with the Emperor Rappies, but at least they're actually cute. The ones in PSU are just horrible. Final Fantasy has chicken creatures that are very popular. What if we copy their homework? Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, to be fair. It does feel a bit more than a coincidence. I still find it really strange that humans and humans can use like SUVs in this. I know it's just like the Mirage Blasts, but it still seems super weird for PSU. I know they got their own sort of racial abilities in PSP too, but it was definitely not there in PSU. That's definitely something that was added in Clementine. I do feel like every Acro attacker, sorry, every Acro fighter that played PSU though, because I think when Acro fighter launched and slices were added, pretty much everyone just spammed this Pia. It is quite interesting running this again actually after so long, because I don't think I've run this for years, honestly. We may have done it maybe once on stream, I can't remember. But it's interesting coming back to it now after spamming it so much back on the Sega servers. I think it's one reason why PSU just feels a bit weird to me now. I think because I'm so used to how it was on the Sega servers in terms of, you know, you would go to the lobby at Pavilion of Air, it'll be packed full of people. And it's kind of weird that not being the case now. I know it's now, you know, what, 20 years later or so, but it's still a bit weird to get used to. Memories are made of these. Yeah, I think that's why I'm glad that NGS has finally decided to acknowledge the older games a little bit. I think it's important to sort of keep the old games recognized because they did a lot for the series. You know, we are at a point now where a lot of people who play NGS are probably, what, 18 or so, maybe, and have maybe never played PSO in their life. So it is cool to sort of expose them to some things from that. Although maybe not the PSO drop rates. Let's not scare them off. Can you actually imagine if they added something like CLJSOD to NGS with the same drop rates? I can pretty much imagine that the Steam discussions forum for NGS would just be on fire. I think the only really annoying thing about this quest is that pretty much, because everything is light element, pretty much every enemy in here can put you to sleep. And sleep is like one of the most annoying statuses in PSU because it just doesn't wear off fast at all. You'll just be sat there asleep for ages. Just curious how to design a game loop that hits correctly and feels good. It's really tough. You know, PSO, I kind of feel like it was a lot easier for PSO because obviously PSO wasn't a live service game really. You know, it was essentially everything that was in the game when it launched was there. You knew what the end game stuff was. You knew what you could go for at end game, and that was your target. But I think for live service games, it's a lot more difficult because obviously the goalposts keep moving. So it's really hard to sort of maintain an engaging end game. I don't think that's a fault of, you know, games like PSO to NGS or anything in particular. I think it's how live service games are, I think. Oh, I think PSU is actually... Oh no, it's recovered. We got a nice little remix of the theme there. Don't really know what happened with PSU there. It tried. It was threatening me like PSO. Like we've had issues with PSO across my channel and deployable as well. Last thing I need is for PSU to start doing it. He's delighting PSO. PSO 2 is enjoyable because it was big, anime, and stupid. I love that. I think that is kind of the make or break thing with PSO 2, isn't it? I think that is the reason why you'll either love it or hate it. I know a lot of people really, really despise PSO 2 because it went very sort of over the top in anime, whereas some people love it more because of that. Live service games kind of killed this genre of games. I think it's just that this kind of game just doesn't really happen now. You know, if something like this releases now, it would probably be a live service game. It's just unfortunately how it is. I've always liked this lobby as well. This is like a really chill lobby as well. I believe as well, I think this is the lobby where you can get your fortune, isn't it? Yeah, we'll go for the big money fortune. It'll probably backfire anyway, but... I can get your fortune in the ultimate lobby as well. It's really creepy how it zooms in. Thank you for that fortune. I have no idea what it means, but it sounds good. I do find it really funny that they haven't translated the fortunes, so they're still in Japanese. But it has 3 stars. I'll take that. Thanks for that. I can't remember what the offerings were for either. Can anyone actually remember what the point of the offering box was? It's been so long since I've done this, I can't remember what it actually influenced. SGS soon to come, that's the fortune. Fingers crossed. Simple, slow-paced games that don't feed the ADHD generation. Attention span doesn't jive with these types of games, but they need people to actually play the slot they serve. The thing in the ultimate lobby is the offering box, not the shrine. Okay. Well, let's just throw something into it. I don't know, have this random barrel ad. I don't know, have that. Blacktail uniform fell from the sky. I'm assuming that's an outfit. It is? There's no way to put it on here, but we got an outfit. I forgot how big this lobby is, actually. Now you can change it. The thing is, I don't think there's a dressing room in this lobby. I don't think there is anywhere. Pretty sure it's only the lobbies that are like near beaches or anything like that. Where are the bushes? Yeah, we need a bush up here to hide in. Bro can't even honey flash. Yeah, we'll check it out before we do the next quest. So we'll probably play about maybe another, I don't know, maybe another half an hour or so of PSU, and then we'll switch over to PSO. We'll see what it feels like, though. But NGS being too anime, I kind of don't mind because Phantasy Star was anime since the Master System. Back to Wicked or Garden. Yeah, I don't mind doing either of those. Have you got any preference? I mean, NGS and PSO2 are just straight up anime because, you know, they literally have anime collaborations anyway, so... The real remember. Any goes for me, Arkle. Let's do Wicked. Yeah, sure, yeah. So back to Guardian's Colony. And yeah, we need to do different planets as well, yeah. I would like to stream PSU a bit more, honestly, because I'm actually having a bit of fun with it at the minute. Maybe not today, but I mean in future streams. You can be a Guru and Lagan in PSP2 Infinity. Yeah, there's the Yoko outfit, isn't there, in Infinity? I mean, to be honest, with Infinity, you know, what didn't it have a collab with? Same with Japanese PSO2 as well. That was wild. The amount of different collabs that game had. Game really opens up later on. It's interesting. Shame we don't have every Infinity feature here. To be honest, we've got a decent amount of them. Guru and Lagan, you mean Raycast. What I will do quickly is I will quickly go and check. Well, go and check what this outfit is, and then we'll do Wicked Inversion. Not fully here, just dropping in every now and then for the Discord link. No worries, dude. Yeah, I know you messaged me beforehand, so yeah, don't worry about it. That's certainly an outfit. Sure, we'll roll with that for the rest of the stream. Why not? Kind of looks ridiculous, but... We do have a tail, though. I mean, to be fair, we are a beast, so... kind of works. Yeah, so Lucia, it should just be in special event counter. I think PSU was probably the first game where we started to get like really wild outfits. Obviously, they went absolutely insane with that in PSO2. That's insane that we can do S3. That seems like a terrible idea, though. I think probably go with S2, just because I'm aware that Lucia's 100 and having a 75 level difference on them is probably not a good thing. Are you sure, Drac, about doing S3? I know you'll be fine, but you got scared dolls. You want to do S3? Okay. Let it be said that I did try and dissuade you from this, but let's go. Level 175s, what can go wrong? Have buffs, it should be fine. I admire the confidence. To be fair, you are level 191, so you are probably fine. I really don't mind which route we go. Yeah, this should be really interesting. The little guys I'm not too worried about. It's everything else. I really do need a better RCSM though, because I need to get rid of this Clad 6 one. Just not being able to see anything to the left of my character is a slight problem. Also, not being able to see when these guys do Diga is a little bit of an issue. Just slightly. Ah, hello, Momo. We have a fourth. See, I literally looked away from the screen for 2 seconds and almost got murked immediately. Thing is, as an acro fighter, I can just kind of stand back and just scum things with the slicer. The outfits were crazy. Yeah, PSO 2, particularly the Japanese version, was wild. I'm gonna have to change my palette around a bit here because I literally cannot see anything with this clad. Let's switch that to there and put... And we'll put the clad on there instead. So now we can actually see what we're doing. I also thought his little owl enemies were really creepy as well. I think PSU though, I will agree with what I think Drac was saying earlier. It does seem to open up a lot. I think earlier on in PSU it is honestly a little bit dull. I think once you get to a decent level, it does actually open up quite a bit and becomes a lot more fun. Which honestly I suppose is the same as PSO to me. You know, as much as I love PSO, I really don't like low level PSO. Yeah, this doesn't seem too bad so far. I mean, if I do get hit, it does a ton of damage, but it's definitely manageable. I think probably helped by the fact that we do have at least 2 high levels in the party. Is 4-man max party size in PSU? No, so most quests in PSU you can do up to 6. Which oddly, I think might be the only Phantasy Star that allows that. I could be wrong, but I think it might be the only one that allows 6 players. Even in NGS, it's 4 players. I know you can do like, 32 player areas and 8 player bosses and stuff in NGS, but it is still 4 players per party. Oh, Flamberge. It's an old PSO weapon, I think. Yeah, that's another thing about PSU. You know, again, it wasn't afraid to sort of experiment with a few things. Realistically, Sega could have just played it super safe after PSO and just done a game that stuck very, very close to it, but they decided to experiment a lot. And yes, it did backfire, but I do kind of applaud them for doing that at least. Gotta tap out. Tickled to be a part of the community. See you guys in the Discord. Later. Oh, no worries, dude. See you later. Thanks for dropping by as well. Oh, wow. Someone's using the yellow nanoblast. I've never seen anyone use that. I'm pretty sure. I think the yellow one is that the one that... It's either accuracy or evade, isn't it? I think that it increases. Oh, we've got another person. So you can see it's still pretty easy to get parties in Clementine. I think, providing that you're doing something on Guardian's Colony, it's probably fairly easy to get parties. But if you're going onto the planets themselves and running some of the more less known missions, then you probably struggle. But at least running things here, it does seem like it's quite easy to get a party going. I've actually got a full party, actually, I've just realised. I do want to use something else apart from just my slicer constantly. Do you remember what Star Amplifier does? Yeah, so Star Amplifier, you can use it on... You can either use it on a wand to turn it into a twinkle star, or you can use it on a spirit garment to turn it into, I believe it's brightness circle. The brightness circle will be a low stat one if you do it, but brightness circle is still a really decent armor. And twinkle stars are a relatively decent wand. It is outclassed a little bit, but it's still not bad. God, that build's evaded so much damage. I suppose they are literally level 180. And they're both champion ones. I'd like to pretend I'm helping out there, but I'm really not. We'll try going for the Nano Blast. We'll see if we get absolutely destroyed. Yeah, it literally did half my health with one shot. PSO portion of the stream starting soon. Logging off PSO to take a nap. Yeah, timed that badly. Oh, it's actually the improved version of Morgana where it does the vents and everything as well. I like I'm just leveling up in the middle of the boss fight. It is nice, honestly, though, to get a boss where the boss actually lasts for a little bit. I will say this is always one of the bosses I did like in PSU. Until you get to this phase and then you have to attack his arms, which is a bit of a problem for a melee class. Yeah, melee is terrible for this boss. It's really very bad. God, the range on that slam's huge. Oof. I do much prefer it when the boss isn't a pushover. Me seeing PSU content, happy face. I am honestly having a lot of fun with PSU lately. So I might stream it a bit more. I know I've done a lot of PSO recently. And I certainly don't want to stop doing PSO by any means, because I love PSO, but we'll probably do like a mixture of the two for a while. I do want to do a bit more Monster Hunter again at some point as well. We might maybe do some Monster Hunter Rise at some point as well, just to differ it a little bit. This guy's a lot of health. That hit me from there. Yeah, you get to a point in this boss where you can basically only hit his arms, which for melee is really not good news. Keeps doing the shield, which is super annoying. I don't actually know if there's a way of actually disabling his shields or if it just goes off after a while. Genuinely have no idea. It's been so long since I've done this guy. And at low levels, he just disintegrates as soon as you start fighting him, so it's actually unusual to get him to see him do attacks. Should revisit PSU. You weren't too crazy about Ethan as a protagonist. I don't think most people liked Ethan, to be honest. Yeah, for what it's worth, I didn't really enjoy PSU story that much. There's certain parts of it I think are cool, but overall I'm not a massive lover of it. I tried to knock the volume down there before I exploded, just to avoid deafening everyone that was listening. It's just this guy. It's like the two robot bosses, basically. At least Ethan got the girl. That he did. It kind of cool to do something a little bit higher level as well. I didn't really feel like I was contributing a whole lot to that, to be honest, but... What girl did Ethan get? If I remember correctly, doesn't he go for Karen or something? Again, it's been so long since I tried it. I know Karen has that thing where she becomes like the Divine Maiden for a bit instead of Mirai, and it's really weird. I can't remember exactly the story now. Again, I think the last time I played PSU story was probably when it released. Karen, fair enough. Yeah, it's a bit of a long-distance relationship due to cults. Hot Newman chicken he gets. I like then you corrected it to chick. Yeah, so I think we'll probably end the PSU section there for today, and we'll switch over to PSO for a bit. So I'll take a couple of minutes, just go and get a drink, and then we'll switch over to PSO BB on Ephinea and do some quests over there as well, just to round the stream out. So thanks to everyone who's watched for PSU so far, and just stick around if you want to see some PSO. Well, see you guys in a couple of minutes. Hi guys, welcome back. Hi Doomlord, you alright? So just for anyone who didn't see last week's stream, they've changed how the block system works on Ephinea now, so our home, if you like, has moved. So we're now on Limerace Block 2, and we're now Lobby 21 instead. So it used to be 13, now it's 21. And the music skips straight away. Wouldn't be a PSO stream without the music skipping at the start. a nice little group going on here. Yeah, so I kind of feel like we need to try and get me a level 2. Well, we need to get a red ring because you got a 4 undrop from Vault and that sucks, and we really need to correct that. Is there anything for the RBR this week that anyone's actually wanting to hunt as well? For me, I don't think there is, honestly. The episode 2 quest is super unreliable because it's random spawns. RBR 4 is good for Heaven Striker. Oh yeah, I forgot that as well. So yeah, not only did you get PD'd from Faults, but you also had someone else in a party that you were in get red ring as well. Oof. Yeah, honestly, the caves quest, I looked at the monster spawns for it, and the only things it's good for is the different sharks and nano dragons. That's it. There's like, I think there's about 9 lilies in the whole quest. Yo, just started PSO. Should I level solo or with a group? So if you play multiplayer, the multiplayer does have a slight experience boost over solo player. But if you're solo, you might be able to kill things faster. Honestly, either will work because you can do more or less the same quest solo and multiplayer. What I would probably suggest is, if you're playing on Ephinea at least, I would probably suggest going to the American ship, go to Fodra, to block 1, and just look in there. There'll probably be loads of people who are doing leveling up. Unfortunately, if you've just started, you've just missed the experience week. So that'll roll around again in about another 3 weeks' time. So that'll give you boosted experience as well when you do that. I'd probably just recommend going to the Fodra ship and just trying to get a party there, because that's where most people tend to congregate on the server. Obviously, feel free to drop by our place here as well. You know, and if there's people around who can help you out, sure there will be. Next time will probably be during the event too. That's a really good point, actually. So there is the anniversary event coming up at some point as well. So that should give you a massively boosted experience as well. I mean, the easy answer to say how to level is spam towards the future, but that is a very, very boring way to level as well. And honestly, if you've just started PSO, it's a really good way of making you not want to play it anymore, because you'll get really sick of spamming it. So I would thoroughly encourage you to explore different quests and run different stuff, just to maintain your sanity more than anything else. Not even sure what quest to start with. What level are you at the minute? It's short on max stat quests, and every quest is just better than any other time. It does seem like it's just generally the best time of the year to find stuff. So, level 4, okay. so still very early. That's fine. So, what I'd probably say then is, at that level, honestly, you can run anything, because the amount of experience you'll need at that level is so small that you'll level up doing pretty much anything. Once you get a little bit higher level, then you can start to just join people for quests. I mean, there's no harm just asking in the lobbies as well if anyone's leveling a low level character. Quite often people will want to level low levels because they'll want to get new section IDs into the high difficulties. So it's usually quite easy to find people doing low level stuff, honestly. Yeah, at level 4, I wouldn't worry too much about what you're running. Just run whatever you find fun. I know it sounds like a cop-out answer, but I'm being honest. Like, at that level, it really doesn't matter too much. Level your first character by going through every area just to see everything. That's a really cool way of doing it, because it lets you experience the game as well. Yeah, that's a good point. If you are running solo, make sure you set the game mode to 1 player, just because it'll make the enemies a bit easier as well. So there's not really a crazy meta, just choose whatever is great. Love doing random quests. So there is kind of a meta for leveling, which is to spam a quest called Towards the Future, which is basically a boss rush. But if you do that over and over again, you probably will get very bored very quickly. So I would just say just run anything you want to run. And don't feel like you need to spam TTF constantly. Yeah, so speaking of TTF, I know I've just said don't do it, but should we do a green hill TTF and try and get a red ring for our chunky raycast? Yeah, so despite me saying just, don't do TTF, we're now just going to do a TTF on stream. Yeah, I'm down for that. Yeah, so we could do, because we've got a few people, so we could do one party for white Alexard and one party for green or red ring. Just split between the two. How is our party composition anywhere? I'll try and split it so we've got a decent spread in each party. Yeah, I mean, Towards the Future is a really good quest for if you want any rares off the bosses, or if you are just wanting to power level, it is great. But if you're a new player to PSO, it's not the way I would go about it, because you'll kind of feel a bit spoiled, and it'll kind of, I genuinely feel it'll ruin the game for you a bit if you just spam TDF. You started playing this because you're a big PSU head back in the day, but never really got into PSO on the Dreamcast. You only watch content for it. Got done with Sonic Adventure with Dreamcast graphics recently and wanted more Dreamcast gaming. Yeah, I mean, PSO is kind of timeless, honestly. Yes, it looks very, very dated now, and it'll probably take a bit getting used to. But honestly, if you play PSU, there is some similarities between them that you can go between the two games, so it's cool that you've gone back to check it out, though. I hope you have a lot of fun with PSO. So we've got, let's see, Uniwell, Hughcast, Forma. I will join that one then, because you need Shift from D-Band. So fingers crossed we can get a red ring. I adore the aesthetic. Something about 2000 sci-fi vibes with this colour palette is the coolest thing. I totally agree. Take your time doing the side story solo. It's a good way to start, in your opinion. Yeah, I mean, the side story, it's a good way of introducing you to a lot of the NPCs. It introduces you to the different areas. That is a really cool way of doing it. Yeah, certainly, like I say, don't fall into the trap of just running TDF constantly. Feel free to do it now and again if you want to, but yeah, it will just spoil the game if you run it all the time. He says as he runs TDF. And almost immediately, we get our first rare, which is a Justy, because of course it is. Oh, and a cross scar as well. It is really, really cool, though, to see people who've played some of the later games. I mentioned this earlier, actually, but it's cool to see people who've played some of the other games then coming back and trying PSO. For someone who's just started, though, this is probably slight spoilers because Ultimate's totally different. I say totally different. It's different enough. Yeah, I totally get what you mean about the aesthetic, though. There's not a lot really like this. You start doing bingo for the red drops. Hi, dude. Happy PSOing. Oh, hi, Clemo. It's always good when you're playing PSO. Except when the game's screwing you over and giving you everything you don't want. Dreamcast visuals was something else. Yeah, I didn't play the Dreamcast at the time. I've gone back and bought one since. But yeah, there's something about just sort of early 2000s Sega that's just on point. Good luck, guys. Go get that red ring. Fingers crossed. We are just kind of speeding through this because we're kind of only interested in faults. I suppose the Sinnohs are fine as well. They drop something decent as well. What outputs does a Dreamcast have? Tempted to get one, but don't want to buy another expensive HDMI adapter like I did for the GameCube. Honestly, can't remember. I do have my Dreamcast behind me. I can certainly have a look for you after the stream if you want. I do get what you mean though, because you know the HDMI adapter. Pipes up. Yeah, I know for the GameCube, you know, trying to capture anything from the GameCube is just miserable because it looks terrible without an HDMI adapter. You could Google it as well. That's another option. But I don't mind having a look at my Dreamcast. It's literally just behind me. Ah, he zerked too hard. It happens to us all. Yeah, full send, yeah. PSO is one of the few games that I can never get bored with. It's that iconic to me. I mean, to be fair, I've been playing this for like 20 years now. I'm still not bored of it, so I think that says something about it. I mean, I've had this literal character to level 200 on the Sega servers, and she's back at 180 again, and I'm still not bored of playing it. You can get a Dreamcast VGA cable, that makes things easy. Do you have like a retro game shop or anything nearby, Kilniath? Or would you just go to somewhere like eBay for it? Started on the GameCube, never looked back. That's exactly where I started as well. No idea, near Whitby and Gisborough, so neither have much in terms of gaming. So if you're near Gisborough, you're not that far from where I am then. So in Middlesbrough, there is a shop in the town called, I believe it's called Super Games World. That's where I got mine from. They have loads of retro stuff in there. So that is one option. That's another Justy. Yes, that is one option. And obviously, I suppose the advantage of that is you can actually go and see it and make sure they're in good condition and everything. That's actually where I bought PSO version 1 and version 2 from as well. No, actually, I tell a lie. I got version 1 I got on eBay because it sold out. I did have it in the shop, but I missed it. So I had to get that on eBay, but version 2 I managed to get from that shop. Yeah, I was forgetting that you live quite close. I don't know if there's any other options nearby, but obviously eBay is another option as well. I'm pretty sure every time I go there, because I tend to drop in there every couple of months or so, just to see if there's anything interesting there. And pretty much every time I go, they nearly always have a Dreamcast in, and they nearly always have a copy of PSO in as well. I remember when I bought my Dreamcast from there, they just gave me a Dreamcast keyboard with it as well. I think it was because they knew there was like next to no point in having it. And it was probably just clogging up their, you know, their storage. But yeah, they just gave me a Dreamcast keyboard. $10 from CX for the most part is tend to be reasonable. Dreamcast for 95 and PSP was 80. I think I paid about 80 for my Dreamcast, but that was a few years ago, so 95 doesn't sound too bad, honestly. This Volop seems to be moving about twice as fast as he normally does. PSO V2 for the Dreamcast is 35 at CEX, 50 at Super Games World. I think they're massively overinflated prices. To be fair, when I've been in there, I think they base it a lot on condition as well. So for me, I paid, I think my version 2 that I got from them was like 20 quid. And it's in pretty decent condition. But there is like a massive gulf in prices there, so I mean there are games in there that are like hundreds. Depends a lot on what they are. But for me personally, I got version 2 pretty cheap. I mean, I have no doubt they probably do inflate prices because they know they can. Box mint with manual is 45. That's pretty good. I mean, if you can get that for 45, I'd be tempted to go for it. I will say though, just on a personal thing, like for me, I find the Dreamcast version quite hard to play, and I fully appreciate it's where the game came from in regards to PSO, but I've tried playing version 1 and version 2 and I really do struggle to get into them. I think the problem is because I'm so familiar with GameCube and Blue Burst, it feels hard to go back to that. I do still really respect it for what it is and for, you know, for establishing PSO. I do find it very hard to go back to. Honestly, part I want a Dreamcast is the whole VMU thing. Very unique and cool. VMUs are really cool. I just love the little things with it. Like when you load PSO on a Dreamcast, it shows the PSO logo on the VMU. And that's just cool. Started on version 2, but once episode 1 and 2 came out, you never went back. Yeah, I mean, for me, like I said, I started with GameCube, so for me, going back was a bit weird anyway. But I wanted to go and check out the Dreamcast versions just to see what it was like. But it is very, very difficult to go back to after you play the later versions. Some games show health and that on its own there. I'm not sure, to be honest. I only have a couple of Dreamcast games, honestly. But I just deal with these bringers. And for me, from what I've seen from the couple of games that I have, it tends to be mainly the game logo for the most part, but there might be other things it can do as well. Again, I'm not massively familiar with the Dreamcast, honestly. Alright, let's go. Red ring time. They kept a couple of GBA things with episode 1 and 2. Yeah, so there was some additions you could do if you had a GBA. I unfortunately did not have a GBA at the time, so I couldn't do any of it. Sometimes there was little VMU minigames. Oh, cool. That kind of thing reminds me a bit of the... was it the Pocket Station that was released in... I think, was it just Japan? Or I can't even remember if it released in the West. I remember that, I think it was Final Fantasy VIII. Had like a little mini game you could do with your chocobo on the Pocket Station. It kind of reminds me of that. I do love little sort of interactivity between devices like that. It just little cool addition that they didn't have to do. Who knew accuracy is hitting hard here? Pocket Station was Japan only. I definitely don't remember seeing it here, so that wouldn't surprise me. Can you please stop spamming Rabata? That would be appreciated. This phase of fault is an absolute menace. There we go. Red ring look incoming. Fingers crossed. Thing is, I'm at a level where I need red ring now as well, so we kind of need 2 to drop. But, well, let's just go for 3. Let's get everyone a red ring. Why not? Yeah, it would be very, very cool to finally see a red ring drop. I've never had one, and I've never been in a party with one either. I boosted that just in case it was the buff PB. I know that I could theoretically put Foy on my palette and just spam Foy when it's got the shield up, but that requires effort. Always feels like Faults always picks on the person who's going to get screwed the most by the Soul Steal. You have 0 elemental weapons for when Fault has the shield up. Yeah, basically the same here. It's possible. I know Del Sabers definitely do have a preference. It's actually in the game data that they prefer going for forces. Not looking promising. I've got a dye fluid, which is basically the same thing. Oh, the drop for red ring is so difficult. I know you see quite a lot of people get it on the banners, but I suppose you have to understand that a lot of people spam TTF. Yeah, to be fair, Carl, I think the drop rate for the red ring, it's something like, I think it's about 1 in 186 from a boss. So yeah, it is not a particularly easy drop. As I said, the only reason you see so many banners for it is just because of the amount of people that run TDF. DB players when they get Mazetta instead of the actual item from a boss. Yeah, this is how PSO keeps you playing. By providing constant sources of disappointment. So just when you're about to quit the game, it'll just drop something quite nice just to keep you, keep you in. You got really lucky with your first one after like 15 tries. That's really, really lucky. Rage Field Gaming. As someone who hunted SGS for 4 years and didn't get it, I can totally empathize with that. A bit unironically, that's how games are going to get with the suits looking for ways to use AI to make more money. You got Dark Falls, but no Red Ring. Oof. Yeah, I got a dye fluid. Got a few things to do, so I'll see you all soon. Oh, no worries, Ark. Nice to see you. Thanks for the game as well. You got 3 PDs on the first room. When they give money that low, you can't help but wonder how cheap they are. Yeah, I think from Ultimate Fault you get like 4,000 Mazetta, and then the clear reward is next to nothing as well. Honestly, I find that you get most of your money with PSO early on, at least by just selling armors. That's usually how I make my money early on, because armors and shields tend to sell for more than anything else. Yeah, it's 4,200, isn't it? Spoken like someone who's done faults over and over again. I mean, obviously there's TTF to try and go for the red ring. I'm also conscious that I don't really want the whole stream to be TTF. You don't even pick up weapons, just armor. The only weapons I pick up is anything with hit above a certain amount. TTF is enough. Yeah, 1 TTF is enough. I like that, yeah. So even the person who was spamming TTF to try and get a red ring doesn't want to do it anymore. We did unlock POD. So for anyone who's in the team who didn't see on Discord, we now have unlocked the dressing room and point of disaster. So we can do those anytime as well. I am totally down for doing point of disaster. My Oran is level 80 and will get horribly destroyed. Thought about getting the mod that shows what you find before you pick it up. Or the item reader. Yes, I am using it at the moment. You can't see it on stream because it's basically where my camera is on stream. But if I just quickly hide my camera so you can see. You see, so this area here, this fills up with all the items that drop, and I've like filtered it by certain items, so it lets me know if any rares drop here. Just so I don't miss anything. It lets me look out for things like HP materials as well, which is really handy. Yeah, I'd really recommend it though, if you are playing Blue Burst. It's a really good quality of life mod, honestly. It's fine to use on Ephinea as well. So yeah, I am down to do Point of Disaster, if you want. Just be aware that you'll probably be reviving me a lot. Unless anyone else has an Oran. I don't know if anyone does. It does also show slots, yeah. So if an armor drops, it'll tell you the defense, the armor, sorry, the defense, the evasion, and the slots. Oran, I believe, I think it gets, is it lame? Yeah, I think it gets lame from Condrieu. You made a Huka Seal as well, which is yellow bows. Mine was yellow bows, then I changed it. Yellow bows gets Daylight Scar. It would be nice to get a Daylight Scar for my Huka Seal. I also need to get some S-Red Blades as well. Yeah, so, I mean, I can go and get my Huka Seal if you want. It's just that I will get destroyed and I probably will need to revive in a lot. So up to you guys. We can either do around point of disaster, or I'm happy to do point of disaster on any ID, honestly. You can sit out. You sure? White ID POD. Oh yeah, Whitehill gets limited, doesn't it, from Condria? Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for doing that actually. A much easier way of getting to step 4 boss as well. If he shows up, exactly. So I feel like you're not the only one. You know what'll happen now though, Vector, don't you? Because you're not joining, nothing will drop. Alright, so anyone who wants to join Whitehill POD, we have a game up. Just for anyone who might not have seen before, anytime that we play PSO, the password is always stream. They'll sit out the next one if no one shows up. Yeah, no worries. I mean, if you guys are happy to rotate, that's fine. I know it's really awkward when we have like 5 people, because you don't want to leave one person out. I know you could technically run a 3 and a 2, but it just takes forever to run things with 2 people. More animations are fun. That is one class I have put virtually no time into, which was very interesting when I had to do the class guide for it, because I had to basically learn it myself. I think it might be the class I played the least. Actually, no, I think the class I played the least is Forneum, probably followed by Formar. Had a Formar back in the day, you remember struggling to hit mainly. Yeah, Formar accuracy is pretty awful. It is a cool class though, but it's essentially like a hybrid, so you can just swap back and forwards between Tekken and, you know, melee as well. I've always liked the hybrid classes really, which I guess is probably why I like Uniworld so much. I know that with Uniworld you are probably 90% melee, but you do have the ability to tech as well if you want to. You typically don't use offensive techs that often. Which is the best force for episode 2? Depends on the area. So some areas of episode 2 have a lot of things with very low dark resist, so you can get away with spamming Megid. If you're doing that, then probably Forneworld, because Forneworld gets the piercing Megid by default. I'm trying to think if there's any other classes, other forces that are good in episode 2. Yeah, I would say maybe Forneworld for episode 2. Just because the piercing Megid is useful. And you could, like Drax said, they have higher ATA as well, so you could potentially use something like a Hell handgun if you wanted to as well. Yeah, I find that force differs a lot per episode, really. I think particularly in multiplayer, Forneworld is really, really good in episode 2, and pretty much any force is good in episode 4, because force just demolishes episode 4. Episode 1 is a bit of a struggle. Every time I play this game, man, it just amazes me that I've played it for thousands of hours and I just do not get bored of it. I don't know what it is about PSO that just makes it so addictive. I just cannot stop playing this game. Yeah, full mal is an interesting class. Obviously, great support, but full mal, again, can also melee really, really well. They actually have a really weird option for ranged as well. There's a weapon called Rambling Mare, which I think you need to max her ATA to use, but she's actually really, really good with it. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done Point Disaster as well. Spoken like a true fan. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I wouldn't have played it for 20 years and built a YouTube channel around it if I wasn't a fan. Still amazes me that people actually watch the videos as well for a 20-year-old game, but I do appreciate it. Just another reminder there from Base Player. Again, we do have a Discord if you want to join on there as well, anyone that's watching. We do talk a lot of PSO, PSU. We talk other games like Monster Hunter. We're demolishing stuff. Yeah, we are the wrecking crew. Shame there's not many people who play the game on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, again, I suppose it's just because it's a 20-year-old game and there is a very limited audience for it. I mean, I am genuinely amazed that I've got to over 1,000 subs on primarily PSO. I know some of the subs will be from NGS stuff as well, but I think the majority of my subs have come from my PSO videos. And the fact that 1,000 people are here for PSO stuff is ridiculous. There's not a lot of PSO content on YouTube till the last year or so, because the game was dead before YouTube. Yeah, pretty much. Love the increased SD range on 4MAR versus 4New. Yeah, that's why I like 4New World so much, because the boosts. I know obviously I get the boost mainly from Striker or Chow, but with 4New World it's really nice to have the increased Rester and anti-range. Just makes things supporting a lot easier. Yeah, good point, Vector. Yeah, we are actually pretty much at 1100, so somehow we've gained another 100. What have we found so far? All I have found so far is 2 Justies, I think. That's it. So, usual stream fare, basically. Played offline for years. I think a lot of people will have done with PSO, because I imagine a lot of people probably picked it up once the servers had already gone down, so, or maybe just couldn't play it online at the time. You know, bear in mind that you obviously needed internet for it, which, you know, quick enough internet at the time really wasn't that widespread. You know, even for GameCube and Xbox, by that time, quite a lot of people were still using dial-up, or very, very slow, like DSL. PS0 will be soon, won't it? Yeah, so I've recorded a little bit for it. I'm going to do a bit more probably tomorrow night. And then the video should go live later this week. Sky will record songs with Bass Player if they have an album. Sounds like a good plan. Skylight ex-bass player Xmas single. I have no musical ability whatsoever. I can't sing, so you don't want to hear that. That would literally take 1 million subs for that. When you got DSL, it was high-speed internet. Yeah, I think when I played GameCube, if you had DSL, that was fast. Honestly, I think the game did quite well for, you know, for the internet that was available at the time. Most artists have no musical ability whatsoever these days. To be fair, most of the stuff I listen to is probably from the 1980s and 1990s, so... Auto-tune the Boomer song. Oh, we have a Disco Braveman, and it has hit. Unfortunately, it only has 10 hit. So unfortunately, not the what was it, 60 hit Disco Braveman that we had last week. 2010 was this wireless modem thing, it'd sit in the window. I can't honestly remember what I had in 2010. I know it wasn't quick. I know we only got fiber a couple of years ago. Anyone who lives in the UK probably knows how slow the rollout of fast internet is here. It's a nice, super simple quest, this. I've always liked Point of Disaster. Just a nice, quick way of getting to the boss. You feel like the game deserves more exposure? Yeah, totally agree. I mean, I think honestly a lot of it is just because it's an old game. It's kind of past the time where it would get exposure necessarily. Alright, so literally anyone apart from the leader activate the boss. Oh, it's Shambatan. Yeah, literally anyone else activate it. Because anyone who knows this boss knows how buggy it is. Anyone who lives in the UK knows how backwards and out of date our entire infrastructure is. Yep, not wrong. That is a lot of these spinners. Thank you, Sato. .200 active players on a server for a 24-year-old game. It's doing pretty well. Yeah, I would say so. I think PSO is definitely the exception rather than the rule. It is amazing how much longevity this game has, and that it's still going with an active community. It's crazy, honestly. I'm all for it, though. And long may it continue. I kind of feel like I'll be one of these guys where I'll be like 8-year-old, sat in a retirement home somewhere, still hunting SGS. I've never liked this on this boss, how this beam just seems completely unavoidable. It does seem kind of BS. When he's over here, it's not too bad because you can hide behind the rock. Yeah, I don't know if we need to do any foot and boss chains because he'll probably die before we do it anyway. I like the idea of just going for a random foot and boss chain, hope for the best. Man, we did do it last stream. Yeah, I guess the fact that it's still active now, I guess it just shows, you know, how much enduring sort of charm this game has. You forget how annoying this boss can be sometimes. PSO was made in a more innocent age of the internet. It comes through in the design. Yeah, I think I mentioned earlier on, I love sort of how colourful this game is. And just the general aesthetic of it is just brilliant, honestly. Quite lucky that it came up right next to me there. Unfortunately, not the rare boss, so we probably won't get anything good from it. So yeah, just a Mazetta drop, unfortunately. It's 6,000 from this guy. Big money. It can drop Heart of Samba Maracas, okay. Yeah, maybe on a different ID. More along the lines of not being there to take your money in microtransactions. Yeah, I mean, that's just the game industry in general now, isn't it? Unfortunately. Oh, it drops from Sam Million. Okay. Yeah, Shambatan is the one that drops Dragon Scale. I've already got a Dragon Scale actually, I just don't have a mag that I can use it on. Oh, so Sam Million drops the Heart of Sam Rackers on White Hill. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it's a 20-hit Disco Bravement. It's at least usable, I guess, but I do have a better one. Any Charge Vulcans in the shop, by any chance? Nah, of course not. Give it a kill Nyath if he ever plays PSO again. Yes, we do have a 20-hit Disco Braveman. So I'll keep hold of that kill Nyath in case you want it. Do you need any other text, Drac? Because I can have a look in my text if you want and see if I've got any. Any mega higher than 24? I can have a look. Don't think I do. No, that is one of the very few I don't have. I think even my 4-new only has about 27. So, yeah, no luck, unfortunately. Just gave him 24 just now. It was your only mega. Yeah, I never seem to get mega disc drops very often. Still actively recovering from PTSD at the moment. Is that still from Tower? Yeah, Tower really scarred you, didn't it? 2 casts and a Humor in Tower was brutal. Yeah, I can imagine. Monster Hunter therapy is helpful though. I'm gonna assume that's Minsk. Given that you called Day. And also given that you're from Pioneers as well, I'm assuming it's Minsk. You empty your shared bank of tech discs, fair enough. To be fair, it's more the thought of next time I need to play it, I need to recoup 80,000 Mazetta. Yeah, I will only subject you to Tower now and again. It is Minsk, okay. I thought it must have been. Your Mazetta is doable in 5 seconds. Just reset the rappies on max attack. That's actually a really good point, yeah, because they drop shields, don't they? You'll be opting out of any and all Tower, thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, if you can get enemies that do drop shields or armors, it is a really easy way of making money. Because you'll get a few thousand per armor, so... I think we've maybe got time for like, maybe one more quest or so. Is there anything in particular that anyone's after? Apart from the obvious red ring. Just DXP for this dude. And V101 as usual. Yeah, V101 is like the perennial hunt, isn't it? It just never ends. Level 180 since you got a red ring. So we've got at least 1 or 2 people who are wanting a red ring. We've got people wanting experience. And V101. Everything is pointing towards TTF. I really don't want to do another TTF, but... Yellow is really good for lame. Yeah, I think it drops from... It's a Sinnoh drop, I think, isn't it, for yellow? And we do have a drop all rate increase at the minute. So I'm all for doing a yellow bows mines run if you want to do that. 1 in 3,900 is not good, admittedly. I'm sensing a theme with these character names, Minsk. You'd rather go for the 1 in 8 on Condru. Theme? What theme? Yesterday, day, tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, if you wanna do a lame hunt, I'm fine doing that. Pink Ep 2 is probably one of the better options, I think. It did, yeah. I got my second lame from a Pinkle. My first one I got from a Skylight Dolphin, actually. That's another option you can do, but honestly, it's still an awkward drop. It's about 1 in 1,000 from a Dolphin. I just got really lucky with it. Pinkle PW2. Sounds good. Yeah, so we'll do this PW2 run, then we'll probably end the stream after that one. We could get another Pinkle card. I mean, why not at this point? It drops from Marilias, doesn't it? So I know PW2 is obviously mainly for... It's mainly mountain. But I think you might get a few Marilias in it. It wouldn't surprise me. You've already played a couple of games, so you don't mind subbing out for someone. Yeah, again, if you guys want to rotate around, that's totally fine. You join, but supper's just around the corner. No worries, Minsk. I just want to have a laugh. I just want to see what the score is. I'm not interested in football at all, but I do want to see how they're doing. Oh, it's still 0-0. I have zero interest in football at all, but I suppose as an Englishman, I should probably at least check the score now and again. And try and pretend I've got some national pride. I really don't. I have to support England. Honestly, I say I've got no interest in football whatsoever. But I will say that they've played terrible. I kind of feel like they don't deserve to be in the final anyway. Lost national pride, yeah. Like, yeah, no one from England really has national pride. And if you do, you're probably in a certain group. You have nothing but national disdain. I'm with you on that one. Gibbles, big monkey, unga bunga. A perfect description of Gibbles for sure. Yeah, for me, I personally, I just do not care about football in general, and it's something I've always found really funny with this country, where whenever there's like a major tournament on like this, you'll see loads of people flying England flags and everything all over the country. Everyone's like, you know, cheering them on and everything. And as soon as they get knocked out, all the flags disappear. No one has any like national pride left at all. I've always found that really, really funny. Your Canadian pride goes as far as your simple chap. To be honest, that goes further than my pride goes. We have some Marillias, so we could get another Pinkle card drop. Yeah, national pride is conditional on performance. Yeah, I've always found really, really funny. I mean, we've got a photon drop already. It's ramping up. Was it a Pinkle card PD though? That's the thing. I will just say now as well, if I do get a lame drop, I will give it to... I think, was it Vector that was after the lame? If I do get a lame, I will give it to Vector. Because I've already got one Excalibur, and I've got another lame to unseal, so I really do not need another one. So if I do get one, I will give it away. This is where one with like 50 hit drops or something, and I have to give it away. And a flower and sword. It's been in the USA where the team only has one good player. Yeah, I mean, for me, honestly, I've just never been that interested in sport as a whole. I think the only sport, if you can call it a sport, the only sport I watch is motorsport. Women's side is so much better. I totally agree. Yeah. Cars driving in a circle. I've never watched NASCAR. Is England really that bad? Do you mean the football team or the country? Football team. Yes. We shouldn't be bad because we apparently have loads of really, really good players that are in all these top teams. But for some reason, whenever we get to a major tournament, it's like everyone forgets how to play football, and we just do terrible every single time. Although recently I think we have got to a couple of finals recently. I think, was it the last Euros we got the final? Honestly, can't remember. Yeah, we like to choke a lot, basically. They have a case of the deals, yeah. Drac has Ronaldo. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, Portugal had that, didn't they? Yeah, that's basically the only thing I know about him. Just that meme. But yeah, I have literally less than zero interest in football. Or soccer, whichever you want to call it. Spain are 1-up. Yeah, and so it begins. Honestly, I think there's one thing that really has annoyed me this time as well is it happens in every tournament for England, but we always start this thing where we always say, oh, it's coming home, and it never does. It has not been remotely close to coming home. Messi going to Florida makes no sense as a transfer. I would imagine that that's largely money oriented. Honestly, I think that's one of the big reasons I've just got no interest in the game as well, because just the amount of money that goes around that game is disgusting. Yeah, soccer versus hockey injuries. Yeah, hockey is brutal. I'm going to assume, is hockey quite a big thing in Canada? Other people, yes. Yeah, just not for me. I would much rather just sit here and play PSO personally. Oh, you forgot to change the camera. Oof. Really? Blades of Steel on the NES is awesome though. I never had an NES as a kid, so I kind of missed out on a lot of the, well, NES and SNES, honestly. I never really played a lot on either of them. I was always a Sega kid growing up, so I never really played Nintendo. I did have a Game Boy when I was a kid. That was, I think, the only Nintendo I had as a kid growing up. And then it was the GameCube was the next one. Not done this quest for a while. It's quite fun, actually. I don't think anything has dropped yet, though. You know what we need? You know what we need? A roller derby game, mate. I think there was a weird game a couple of years ago. I can't remember what it was called. And it was kind of a mix of roller derby and basketball. It was very weird. I don't think it did particularly well, and I cannot remember what it was called. Rocket League's fun. That again is one of those games that I feel that nearly everyone has played that I haven't. There's a few of them like that where it's games that I feel pretty much everyone has done, and I've just never, it just always passing by. There's basically that and Minecraft. I've never played either of them. You haven't played Rocket League? It's good to know I'm not the only one. I've seen people play it, and it looks pretty fun for what it is. From what I understand, it's basically football / soccer with cars. It looked fun enough when I saw people play it, but just not the kind of game I would personally play myself. I tend to find there are some games that are more fun to watch than play for some people, and that's one of them for me. I don't mind watching Rocket League sometimes, but it's not a game I would play. The same for me with things like the Souls games. Like, I would not be able to put up with the Souls games. I know I would get too annoyed with them, but I love watching them. Played it once. I think Warframe or Final Fantasy 14 is more your speed. I think I played a tiny bit of Warframe when it first released and couldn't get into it at the time. Again, it looks fun. I've just never gone back to it since when it first released. And I played a little bit of 14. You beat the Elden Ring DLC already. Yeah, for 14, basically, I played from launch from version 1.0. For what it's worth, I know that game gets a lot of criticism, and a lot of it is rightly so. I did actually have a reasonable time with 1.0, honestly. A lot of it is very rough, or was very rough. Oh, Amplifier of Blue, very nice. And a blue barrier. What are the chances of that, a blue barrier and an Amplifier of Blue from the same boxes? Yes, I played Doom 1.0, and then I stopped when 1.0 went down. I tried Rome Reborn when it launched and couldn't get into it, and it's only very recently that I've gone back to try it again. But at the minute, I just don't have the time to invest into it. You need Rabata Merge. Yeah, Rabata Merge would be really, really nice. I don't think I have a Rabata ramp. Warframe's great and fairly PSO inspired, 4-person teams and randomized maps. There was another game I played years ago where it was kind of randomized maps, and it was quite a fun game while it was active. I don't even know if anyone remembers it, but there was a game called Global Agenda. I think it was made by the same dev team that makes Smite. And that was actually really cool when it launched, and then they just completely abandoned it and worked on Smite instead. I think they made a Tribes game as well. It was kind of fun for the very short time it existed. It was a very ugly game, but it was actually quite fun. Yeah, it just got pretty much abandoned. Yeah, I do feel like a lot of games have sort of tried to capture a similar kind of gameplay loop to PSO, and some have been more successful than others. I know Warframe is really, really popular. It's just a game that for me, once I tried it, I never really felt the urge to go back to it. It's probably completely changed since I played it, honestly. Warframe definitely has some PSO vibes to it. Oh, cool. Why is the beeping so loud on stream? I have no idea. To me, it actually doesn't sound that loud. It doesn't sound any louder than the other noises in the game to me, but could just be a weird stream thing. As long as the rest of the game's not too loud. If it is, I can adjust it. Pretty sure the McDonald's machines took their beeps from this. Yeah, they were inspired by PSO. We'll just say now that basically everything is inspired by PSO. I do love that we've just stopped caring about the traps now and we're just setting them all off. Yeah, that Megad seemed to kill tons. I guess you are using Demonic Fog though, so I suppose you've got the piercing Megad. Yeah, I've got to say, like, Central Control area is still by far my favourite area in the game. I love everything about this area. You know, the music is incredible. I love the aesthetic of it. You know, as weak as the episode 2 story is at the start, you know, with the VR areas, it more than makes up for it once you get to this place. Yeah, it's been quite interesting doing the lore series, honestly, because trying to do a lore video for VR areas has been extremely difficult. I'm almost essentially just treating it as like a lab quest playthrough now. Once we get to CCA, it'll be fine because then there's obviously the whole story with Flowen. But for now, it's very, very hard to sort of focus on any lore parts. Random thought, the Yakuza games are definitely worth playing if anyone's interested. Yeah, again, that's another series I've never touched. They again do look very fun from what I've seen. Maybe it's something I can check out at some point. I kind of doubt it would be a stream game. Oh dear, I forgot to change the camera. Well, we'll do it classic Sega style then. Yeah, so for anyone who never played the Sega servers, this is how the quest camera was at the end of this quest. Have fun. It's like, hey, what if PSO were isometric? And with the camera very zoomed in so you can't see anything. That is the most awful camera I've ever seen. Literally can't see anything. Can I actually zoom the camera in and out with Ephinea? No, it does actually lock the camera while I'm like this. Yeah, this was the experience though. This is how it was. Basically, all of the Endless Nightmare quests, all of the Phantasmal World quests were all like this. A couple of rooms of that and I'd uninstall. It just tends to be for like the final room of these style quests. For some reason, they decided that the camera should just be obnoxious. You low-key love it. Oh. Osmo has found Lame Dargent with 20 hit. Very good. We got another banner on stream, boys. 20 hit as well, so that's 30 hits. So that's better than my Excalibur then. So congrats on that, dude. And look, Vector is in the party again. I'm convinced that Vector has some kind of special ability that just triggers red, like banner drops. It does feel like every time he's in the party, something drops. But yeah, seriously, congrats on that, Drac. You were here for Minsk's PGF and Nug as well. So basically everything good we've ever found, you've been in the party for. Drac, do you need Rabata level 29? Because it's just dropped for me. I doubt you do, but just let you know it's dropped. You got multiple Rabata 29s, fair enough. Yeah, it's 1 in 4,201. I mean, it'll be a little bit easier at the minute just because obviously the drop anything rate boosts. So that'll boost the chance of an Ulgavan dropping something. But it's still a tough drop. And to get it with 20 hit as well is really, really nice. Well, it'll be 30 hit when it's teched, I think. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong on this, but I think the banners, I think they show the hit untacked. Because I'm sure that when I got my lame, it said 10 hit. which it attacked up to 20. Yeah, I mean, a 30 hit Excalibur would be sick. I don't know what your plans are with it, Drac, but I was going to say I'd be tempted to use it, like maybe on your 4-mar. Because, you know, 4-mar has terrible accuracy, so the 30 hit will help out a lot. Yeah, definitely. I would definitely go with it on the 4-mar, personally. Pretty sure it works like the add-on. Yeah, because on the add-on it shows you untech as well, so that makes sense. Yeah, Minsk, so Drac just got a lame Dargent with 20 hit untech. And it was a banner. So is that, I think that's 2 streams in a row with banner drops, I think. Or is it 3? Yeah, I really like this quest. I love that it takes you to this part of CCA as well that you don't normally get to come to. I like how you can see all the different parts of CCA from here as well. So you've got the 2 control towers. You know, you've got the, I suppose, your east tower and the west tower over there as well. And it's just cool to kind of see it all here that you don't normally get to experience this part. Yeah, so we got a stream banner. So we did get one, was it last week? I think we got a banner last week. Yeah, we got a really high hit Disco Braveman last week, didn't we? Yeah, the street lamps that phase to another dimension, yeah, they do pop in and out a bit. No, I'm going to go to the lab first because I will forget otherwise. Also, remember to get your lucky coins from Null. All you need now is a 30-hit Heaven Punisher. That's all. Just a mere 30-hit Heaven Punisher. Yeah, the luck is spreading, so I mean, it's still. I think it's still down to Vector being in the party. I think that is the main thing. We need Vector in every single game. Yeah, only it'll be on Psycho Wand. I would take a SGS or a Psycho Wand. I'm cool with either. You also want an IRL Psycho Wand. Anyone got Amp of Rabata? Honest count, I have Foy and Zonde. What else do I have in my other bank? And another Foy. So no, I don't. Yeah, no worries. I never seem to get amplifiers very often, and when I do, they're always Foy. I would take the other, but I can't remember the last time I used Gibata. So yeah, I'll leave that one. Nah, Vector just giving out things again. Absolutely based. I like that. Yeah, you have one amplifier of Rabata, but it's sat in a classic bank. Yeah, it's Vector Claws, exactly. We're just amassing a collection of amplifiers that no one wants now. How many Rappies beaks? That is... I know you can't see this on chat because of where my camera is, but look at how many Rappies beaks there is here. Just a pile of them. But yeah, I think I'll hand this quest in, then I'll probably end the stream there for today, I think. England just equalised. Oh. I would celebrate, but I really don't care. Well, good for them, I guess. Rappy Beaks rule, nice fast mag to level up. Yeah, it is a really good mag to level if you want to just get a fast mag to level. You want a bank holiday. That's a good point. Yeah, they might feel generous and give us a bank holiday if we win. So come on, England, we need a bank holiday. You want England to win for no reason now. Okay, so you're not English, but you work over it. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm honestly not bothered. I mean, yeah, it'd be cool if they do win, I guess, because it's been so long, but we'll see. Yeah, I'll end the stream there for today, I think, guys. So it's been a really fun one, actually, playing a bit of PSU and doing, obviously, PSO is always fun anyway, but playing PSU is really cool as well. So the plan, as I say, there'll be PSP2 video for members late on Monday. That will then go live to everyone else either on Wednesday or Thursday. There'll be the first look at PS0 midweek as well. And then probably the next PSO lore video at the weekend. And then obviously another stream on a Sunday, which will be the special one where you can ruin my life in PSO. So as always, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the stream or anything, or in the videos, as usual, please consider liking, subscribing, join as a member, all the usual YouTube rubbish. But yeah, hope to see you guys in the next one. And thanks for everyone for joining today as well. It's been a really fun one. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everyone. See you later.